So it was the day before my first day of class freshman year of college. And I was at line in the post office with my friends. And that's when it happened. That's when two absolutely beautiful twin sisters walked in. You know, I had no idea that they would be of any significance at all in my life someday. But that's when I saw the girl that I would soon fall in love with. And no one believes me when I say that I know I was looking at Jasmine, but you're just gonna have to trust me on that. So I found out that my friend Tahir had been friends with them, and he was a sophomore. So then I found out about the sophomore twins, Jasmine and Jade Ramel. And T had introduced me to a bunch of his friends, and one of the friends that he had introduced me to used to talk to her. And I couldn't break the bro code, so whatever chance I thought maybe in the future, like, it was out the window. And so, you know, I couldn't help but ask for details. I was asking, how could you let someone like her go? And the fact that he had no real closure, I was so curious and confused, and I really wanted to know. And you know, time passed, and then I made the stupidest move ever. I decided to DM her on Instagram. So it was this guy's birthday, and I was just trying to be a bro, and I let her know. I was like, hey, you know, it's his birthday, and I don't know what happened between you two to end things or whatnot, but I'm sure he would really appreciate it if you said happy birthday. And a couple hours passed, and she DMs me back, and she says, was this your idea or his? And I'm sorry, you thought this was gonna accomplish what? I ended it with an apology and just pretending like nothing actually ever happened. I would honestly think and talk about her every day. You know, I would leave the dorm and I would look for her. And I didn't actively search for her, but I always had my eye out and I never saw her. And if I did, it would be because I'm lucky and she was walking really far. And I didn't know where she was ever or what she was doing or anything like that. And I was so curious. So time passed and the semester was almost halfway over now. And then I got an email. It was my new chapel seat. Main floor back, row X, seat 66. When I got there and I sat down, I didn't think anything of it until I saw her walk by and sit 2 seats in front of me. And when she did, I was so happy. So every day I would get there early and I would get that 5-second glimpse of her walking by and sitting down, kind of like a stalker. You know, like I said, I could only imagine what she was like. I didn't know anything about her, only what T had told me. And it was one night that there was a volleyball game, and T invited me, and I said I didn't want to go. And he sends me a text saying, guess who I'm sitting next to? When he said that, I changed and I freaking ran to the gym. When I got there, I walked in, and that's when I met her for the first time. He introduced me and she said hi, and I sat down right behind them, and they were talking. At one point, she turned around and she asked me what part of California I was from. And I told her, and she even tried to have a conversation with me, but I ended it with, oh, that's cool. Yeah, it was a bad first impression, but I was on cloud 9. So now that I officially met her, I could say hi to her every day at chapel. Or that's what T told me. But every day she would walk by and I would stay quiet. She was so unbelievably intimidating to me. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't say hi to her. With only 6 days left in the semester now, with the semester coming to a wrap, I had another really stupid idea. I had T message her on Instagram. You see, I found every reason not to talk to her, and the biggest one was maybe she's talking to somebody else. And T did message her. He asked her if she was talking to anybody, and she said no, and she obviously asked why. He said that he knew a friend that thought she was attractive, and she asked who. And he said, do you remember Alex? She said, oh my gosh, yes, I remember. He DM'd me at the beginning of the semester on Instagram. It was really weird. And T was like trying to have my back and whatnot, and she said, I'm really not interested. When T told me that, did it hurt? It really did, because this whole semester I had been dreaming about what it could be like if I got to know her, or just thinking about what could be, and I was down about it. The next day, T had something to show me, and Jasmine had messaged him back. She sent this huge paragraph about how guys need to be confident and to walk up to girls themselves, and they shouldn't hide behind social media and friends. And after she finished roasting me, she said, you should let him know. When T told me that, it gave me the little confidence that I needed, and I knew that I had to talk to her again. I knew that I had to talk to her the next day at chapel. It was the week of finals and there was only 4 days left in the semester. I was so sick to my stomach. I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I couldn't study, I couldn't do anything except worry about my opportunity to talk to her. And right before chapel, there was a perfect time, but I was too scared and I went right to my seat and I sat down. Throughout the entire service, I sat there thinking about how I had only one shot left. So after chapel, I waited outside the doors for her. She walked out, and when I saw her, I called her name. I asked her if she had any free time, and she said that she had a final. So I offered to walk her to class. The walk from the chapel to her classroom was about 5 minutes long, but it was the worst 5 minutes of my life. My icebreaker was apologizing for the original DM, and then from there, I was stuttering, I was shaking, my mouth was completely dry. It was horrible, and she knew I was struggling. About 30 seconds from her classroom door, I panicked, and I said, "It was really nice talking to you." And I walked away. It was the worst first impression ever, and I knew I ruined my chance. And I was so embarrassed.
You'll remind me.
T saw Jasmine the next day, and he asked her how it went. She told him how nervous I was, and she could tell that I was struggling. They both laughed about it, and they went on, and when it was time for him to go, Jasmine said to him, "Tell Alex I said hi." Okay, knowing Jasmine now, she did not mean that at all. She is such a sarcastic person, and she was only messing around, but T didn't tell me that. So when he did, it gave me so much hope. So what did I do? I DM'd her again. And it was because we didn't have chapel, and that was the only time I ever saw her. So I DM'd her, and I asked her if she had any free time. She told me how she had finals and she had things to do, but she would make time for me, even if it was only an hour. Okay, when she told me it was an hour, I said, I could barely hold a conversation for 5 minutes with you, so that was perfect. The entire next day, I was sick to my stomach, nervous until it was time. And right after church, I met up with her, and we hit it off. It was amazing. I saw her laugh for the first time, her smile. I knew that she was human. It was perfect. We went back and forth, talked about anything and everything, and we went all the way up to curfew. So 2.5 hours later, I walked into her dorm. She says to me, "Are you coming back next semester?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Okay, good." It was perfect. I skipped back to my dorm. I was so happy. The next day was the last day of school, and after chapel we were free to go, so we talked and that was it. I thought it was too soon to ask for her number, so I didn't. And I was sitting there at the airport thinking about how everything had gone down, and then she DM'd me, asking me what time my flight was. I let her know, but it was too late to see her, so I got her number then, and we have talked every single day ever since. I never imagined we would be where we are today. The stalker I was unexpectedly entering into her life. I have done everything I possibly could for her to prove my love for her. And she appreciates me, and she knows that I would. She's the opposite of high maintenance, and she doesn't ask for anything. Jasmine's perfect. I am in love with Jasmine May Opina Ramel, and we have been through so much. Lack of communication, hard times, heartache, long distance, and it's all been a true test of our love. God has blessed us so much, and He continues to do so. I'm so thankful for her. And I will honor, respect, and love her for as long as God intends us to be together. This past year has been the best year of my entire life, and I want to be with Jasmine forever. I won't ever stop loving her. I am just as obsessed with her then as I am now, and we aren't even officially dating, but it's been an amazing first year.
I wouldn't mind if you're wrong. Stay for the night. At last, my love's come along.
It won't anymore.